go?
Yeah, good. So it's 6:02, and we'll call the November area plan commission meeting to order. Introduction of members.
My name's Dale Seward. I sit on the Delphi City Council, and I'm appointed by the City Council.
I'm Kelsey Holt, and I am the A&R and 4-H educator at the City Council.
Don Chalkley, the Carroll County Surveyor.
Kev Watson, resident commissioner.
Anita Whirling, representing, appointed by the Delphi mayor.
Brad Farr, appointed by the County Council. Cameron Yates, Carroll County Area Plan Director.
And City Department of Legal Counsel.
Next order of business is approval of the minutes from October 22nd meeting. Do you have these up there?
Everybody see that?
Steve, you say who you are and who you are.
Oh, Steve May, I'm with that. We're appointed by the school superintendent.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
For a second.
Second.
It's a motion and a second. If we need any discussion on that, but all in favor, say aye. Opposed, abstained? Next up is the interpretation of Delphi rules regarding driveways. We were just discussing this a little bit before the meeting. I think you have a resolution from the Delphi City Council.
Yeah, you guys received the email packet, and I passed a few out to you guys if you don't have any problem with this. This was something that was existing before I took the position, so I would just kind of break on it a little bit earlier. And I don't, the ordinance states, I don't see a whole lot of change in what's in there, and I don't know what your guys' thoughts on what we need to do to proceed. But I know we're trying to get this wrapped up for the end of the year.
This is the letter that was, complaint that was sent out.
Has everybody seen that?
They probably saw it a long time ago, but you might wanna, if we're gonna try to talk about this, you might wanna show it on, well, ask around since it hasn't been. And as far as I can tell, the only thing that relates to this is, Article 4, Section 17, and then, item F, which is off-street parking spaces may be located in any yard except the front yard and the side yard adjoining the street. So it doesn't have a lot of, detail there. This particular property, the original house looks like a carport's been added on, and then a couple of structures to the rear of it. So it basically is no access to that yard, so it would be kind of a way for them to, to park vehicles anywhere other than in the front yard or side yard. Well, there's no side yard either. But if you go drive by that property, there's the driveway, and then they've added basically now 2 parking spaces with, that take pretty much the whole house. There's a little bit to the side of the front entrance that doesn't have a vehicle in front of it, but the rest of it is all parking spaces. There were 3 vehicles parked out there, and I went by and took a photograph a couple of weeks ago. And, they've added gravel to virtually all of the front yard of the property in a residential area.
So where they've added the gravel, well, you consider the front,
Yes, it's definitely the front of the house.
is that, the next road to that, is that Prince William? Is that where they're at, is the corner, there's a further down?
No, they're at Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Um,
So they really don't have anywhere else other than that. Did they ever approach the city about this before they took the gravel out? Or did they just-
I couldn't say whether they, approached the city or not. Dale, do you have any recollection?
I don't believe so, but I cannot be 100% sure on that. I don't think we can base any action on this letter when it says Carroll County zoning ordinance twice, and it should be the Delphi zoning ordinance, correct? Or am I
Well, it's the Carroll County zoning ordinance, because the Delphi adheres to the county ordinance unless it's superseded by something in the
I
They have,
don't
they
think
have their,
that's right.
they have their own zoning ordinance.
Is that correct?
Is there nothing in the Delphi city ordinance that talks about it? Oh, it's Delphi? Oh, okay.
So I don't think we can proceed with any violation, if it needs to have that letter as a notification, because it's inaccurate. The way I'm looking at it anyway.
Do we need to have the city step in since it's on a city street and it's a city ordinance? Do we need to have them step in and do anything with this or?
Well, when they sent a resolution order to try and get us to
Right.
work on it.
The only problem with that is gonna be is that any changes to the ordinance and amendments to the ordinance would only be good going forward. It doesn't
Right.
necessarily deal with the problem that's already there.
Right.
But if I just said the ordinance right now, it says no front porch. That's in the.
Does that say that in the city as well?
Should be.
Yeah, so I mean, they've already got, that's been there, so they've been violated what was, it still is a city ordinance. So I don't know.
So I'm not sure what they want us to do. If it's already in the city ordinance, which, our thing's not unified, we turn that down to unify it into one document.
Right.
So it's,
But we still have to enforce.
right, but if it's in there, why do we need to add it to ours if it's already in theirs? What's the reasoning? for
No,
doing
they're
that?
asking for amendment of the Delphi zoning ordinance itself regarding driveways. I think they
So
want to
on-
make sure this doesn't happen. Clarify the language is what
Yeah, I
my,
think that's what they're saying.
I think
Help
that's
us to
my
clarify the language.
opinion on what they're talking about.
Since it relates to both. And, this, from the existing, ordinance, it sounds like they are in violation, and they are.
So which article did you say? that
So
was?
it's, Article 4, Section 17, off-street parking. I'm not sure that it needs to be changed, I think it just needs to be enforced.
Listen, I don't understand, I understand what it's pretty cut and clear, what's that. I don't know what.
But did they send over what they want to say?
What you have in front of you is what the mayor said.
It says, number one, the area plan commission is hereby requested to recommend an amendment to the Delphi zoning ordinance regarding driveways.
Well, that's, what was supposed to do with that?
Hmm?
What was supposed to do with that?
Tell them what they need to do. Tell them.
That's not so.
So is it something that,
They want us to
do they
fix
want
it.
us to enforce it?
They want us
And if they want us to enforce it, well then how do you guys want us to proceed to enforce it? The gravel's down. They've added to their driveway, which is what the ordinance states, so what actions do we do as a, this is kind of.
And I don't know if there was any response from them to, you know, this was dated in June, the letter went out to them.
Subsequent meetings, they indicated that there was no response.
No response. They also had enclosed cardboard against, again, without.
That's
without
a
getting-
building permit issue
Right,
with the
that's
city,
the-
right? Or with,
Yeah,
It'd be with us.
yeah.
That's something that's there too. I wasn't clear on what they was asking for, like I said, this was introduced to me, and it was in the making for a couple months prior to me taking over, so.
Right.
If you guys want me to step in and start our process, I'd be more than happy to do that, but I think, just in my opinion, I think the wording of it's pretty clear. I mean, I don't know what's not clear of it, honestly, so.
So if they wanted to create another parking space in the front, they would have to get an exception, is that correct?
Come before the, I imagine it would be
BZA.
BZA for
Yeah.
special exception.
I think the main concern, from what I understand, is,
Would be a variance.
I think the main concern, from what I understand, is driving over the established curb and causing damage to that with different vehicles, or the potential for that. I think that's the big issue.
But it's also the way the property looks. It's a residential neighborhood, and it's now, you know, it looks more like a business there with 3 vehicles parked directly in front of the house.
I mean, the only thing I would say is they should be sending a letter in violation of the county
Which I think
ordinance.
was done in
Was
June,
done in June.
Okay.
and that was
What's
from
the
our,
next
But
step?
what Dale's saying is that if he was referencing the county ordinance instead of the city
so
ordinance.
resend them a letter with the city ordinance stated in it, and then proceed from
Right,
there.
with the showing, saying
Oh, I
specifically
see,
what.
Al had not
section.
got the right
Right.
Terminology or whatever.
Right.
So I think you start
Just start
over doing
again.
that, and start the clock again.
Yeah,
Reference the right language and the right.
and give them the
sections
opportunity
and all.
to,
Yeah, you can't very well enforce something that's got bad information on it.
sure.
And I
I
believe
see what you're
since then, since this letter went out, they added another.
Even more.
But either way, they still violated an ordinance, a city ordinance that was already in place.
Right.
So that's what I'll go on.
Yeah. I think you can tell the mayor that it's already in there, the language that they can't do this, we'll take the proper steps and.
I guess the only question would be, if you're talking about them going over a curbing that is already put in, if they don't want that to happen, we would need to amend the ordinance to make sure that that would be allowed to increase parking space that included requirement of going over curbing that's already furnished by the city.
That might be what they have in there.
Yeah,
That's-
If they're already breaking other rules, so
Yeah.
really, that's.
Might as well start there. and work
Yeah.
your way out.
But it would, perhaps include someone else trying it in the
Right.
future. A little bit more clear,
I would think there's something in the ordinance that says you can't just go, that's city property, if it's a curb way, if it's the city, I can't just go change my drain if I don't like it, so there's gotta be something in there that says, this is city property, you can't replace it or change it, or,
My
I don't know
understanding,
what the language would be, but I'm sure it's in there.
my understanding from Aaron, that's in there somewhere.
So, would you guys,
Theoretically, they have to face the city property.
they wanna change the layout of what the city, what the city puts down is what they want, so I think this is, they're changing for obvious reasons, so that's.
So if they had come, to, come for a variance, and if it was determined that if that was gonna be allowed, then probably one of the things that would have happened, that they would have been required to pay for a curb cut you put in, so it's not going over an existing curb. Would be my guess. That would have been part of the
So,
they didn't come for all that.
moving forward with this, so I would, if you guys are okay with it, I will start a new letter, with the language, with the proper ordinance. You guys want me to, you guys need to okay it before we send it out, or how do you want me to do that?
Is he gonna be addressing the curb issue and the driveway? Or the building permit issue of the enclosed carport?
I think you address it all.
Yeah, I'll look into that too. If there's no permit for that carport, then we'll address that as a, no, we'll just make it all in one notification. And we'll start the time as soon as we'll mail it certified, that way we know they got it. And, I don't know what your guys' timeframe is for a response.
Is there anything in that letter, is there any standards set on that?
Next meeting.
We don't have one.
I would give him plenty of time to respond. For the January meeting.
He said, by January 15th, or no later than January 15th.
Okay. And that'll be our meeting, that is, yeah, so that should be fine.
Thank you enough time.
Yep, thank you. I'll stack with it.
I'd like to interject something. There's nothing in the Delphi City ordinance about curbs. In the zoning ordinance. So you can't address a curb issue in the zoning ordinance because it's not there. It's not your purvey to enforce it. That would be the streets.
So we can still do the driveway part.
You can do the driveway, and you
Yeah,
can
we
do
can do the driveway.
the structure, but you can't touch the curb because it's not yours to touch.
Yeah, so I'll touch base with, Aaron and Shane, because that's city property.
Right.
And I'll see what route they wanna go with that, and then I will proceed with the carport and the driveway, and then we'll go from there.
You done with that issue
I think so.
then?
I mean, the only thing, it doesn't say curb specifically, it just says that it has to have access. Each required off-street parking space will have direct access to an aisle or driveway. Well, if they're going over a curb, they don't have direct access, but you can't use the word curb because we don't use the word.
Yeah,
curb.
it's not in here.
Right,
It's
but
not
it
in here.
doesn't have direct access. You can say you've got a parking
If they
area.
had it go out and just that one curb cut and go in and say it funnels out to a bigger area, that's.
Right, but it's really immaterial, it doesn't really matter.
Right, but the lot is big enough for them to, basically do that. If there's already one vehicle parked in the driveway, it's not enough. But we have a way to proceed at least and see where we get.
Change the wording of it and get it started, I'll get started on that tomorrow.
Any other old business before we move on to? Email accounts is the first item under new business.
So I spent a couple days this month trying to get everybody's email accounts. Number one, active, which they were all checked to make sure they're all active, and then we had some passwords that were all over the place. So for those of you that have not seen my card, I'll pass this around again if you can check. This is your email accounts, your address, and all your contact information, because I send stuff out that's crucial to the meetings and stuff that I think that you guys would want to know for stuff that comes up. So if you can check your emails, I know everybody's busy, if you can check them once a week or as much as you can. We pay, I think, $80 to $100 each account, so we're paying for those, and, sometimes I know stuff is pretty important that I have to run by you guys before I proceed, so if you have not looked at this, if you can initial it or check it if everything's correct, I think we're on the right track, so the test emails I've been sent out to, I apologize for all 50 of them, but we're getting good reply back, so that's a step in the right direction. That's all I have on that.
Board members? Yes, we have several that are, whose terms are up at the end of December.
I'm not sure what you guys, there's several that's coming up. I know Ross's position's gonna open up, and I think there's 3, Tommy. So I don't know with this being my first time at the changing of hands, I'm not sure what you guys want to do or how that process goes. Hey, Ross, the council spot is gonna be, your term's up at the end of.
Yes.
One more.
Mine, yours, because I replaced Al.
And then he is too.
Mine's up too.
Yeah. So what do you guys, as far as proceed with that, so we have a January, when we have our meeting, we have a staff that's, do we need to get that process started after today's meeting? What actually, what do you guys recommend as far as the next step is?
Approve one in town, so.
And they have all been sent letters.
So they can either reappoint,
But, yeah, then it's up to them.
it's up to them to
Yeah,
either reappoint or find a new person.
And then they'll reach out to us.
yes.
They should, but you may have to. call
You
them.
have to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent out letters last Tuesday or Wednesday, so they all should have their letters. Hopefully get back to us. So, again, watch for your emails, because whoever they recommend or whatever they throw at me, I'm gonna present it to you guys. That
Do we
way.
know specifically who's not coming back or does not want to come back?
Not
I
until
don't.
that point, because it rolls over.
But I'm saying though, if there's somebody that's been, if
Might be a
Ross
good
or
question
you,
to ask
I mean, you
right
can
now.
say no. Is there,
I've already talked to Josh about re-upping.
okay. and
So you're good for
I
none,
doubt if I'm not.
You gotta do that, yeah.
doubt or you're not?
We also
I
have.
doubt if I'm not. I doubt if I,
Since it's a council.
Well,
yeah,
appointment,
because it's
Okay.
council seat, so.
Yeah, he has.
Do they meet this month? Or they've already met,
The
so
new
do they meet in
council-
December?
The new
Yeah.
council will be meeting for the first time in January.
Yeah.
So at that meeting, they appoint.
That's when the appointments
They
occur.
recommend that the council make an appointment and then the mayor can make it.
We just need to make sure it's on their agenda.
Yeah.
We do have Burlington and Yeoman, that position, so.
Yes, it goes from Yeoman to Burlington, and they have both been sent out.
It does go back to.
It flips back to Burlington this year.
Yes.
And then we also, appoint to DCA, the commissioners do,
Yeah.
from our boards, as and 4 or 5 people are up a year, so.
Did you let the commissioners know that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, via email, so hopefully
Okay.
they check their emails. And, we actually have a meeting Monday, so if I need to, I can reach out to them, but I think they'll all 3 be here. But they are, all 3 of them are there. So.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is approval of job description.
So I just kind of tweaked the job description that was already out there a little bit and sent it to the county, has a company called Irwin that we send the job posting to, and they look at it, review it, and see what needs to be added or take, just anything that he tweaked. I changed some minor things, I sent it to them, and they approved it the first time. So with that being said, I wanted to present to you guys, because after you guys, look at it, if you're okay with it, then I can take it to the next step. It's a four-step process. There's a lot to it, and I would like to, if possible, which is gonna be really tricky to do it, start at January 1. I think it can be done, so you all had an email to you, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, or get your thoughts on it, so. The only part I took out was the, going out in the field and doing stuff. That was it. Everything else I just left it the same, so everyone was okay with that. Changed the title, which was recommended by them. It was a PAT position. So I think on the county council, it said, second deputy. I'm not sure how they worded it, but Irwin recommended that it was, that being a PAT, that admin assistant was more appropriate, so. Anybody got any questions on that, or any issues with it?
I think it seems fine. Do we just need to make a motion and, well, I'll make a motion that we approve the, new job description of administrative assistant.
We have a motion, is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, signify with aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
This would-
Public
this-
nuisance procedures.
Okay, so one of the biggest things that I get on a daily basis is, we get several phone calls and we get a lot of walk-ins. And it's on nuisance. And you gotta watch how you, your language on this, so, I've went out and done several site visits. So I know the process with that is, what we've been doing is I send them a letter, stating the ordinance and asking them, can you please, look into this? I've had a lot of them come in and say, yeah, we'll look into it, we're busy. So we've had a couple that have not responded. And it's my understanding that after the letter comes back, there's 3 or 4 more steps that's involved after that. As far as vehicles, debris in the yard, that's the biggest one, is stuff that's in the yard, it's accumulating it, and people expecting their property values, et cetera. So, as a board, what do you guys, I would like to go present them with a letter, give them a time frame. If they don't wanna take action, then we take action. Because it's some of them can drag out for months, and people are coming back in and they're, like, we've had a couple of them as irate, and they're trying to sell their house. People, so I wanna know what your guys' thoughts are on, I know what the nuisance ordinance is, but what steps do we need to do to speed this up, or, that's my biggest thing going right now, is a lot of nuisance complaints, a lot.
There's nothing established in your paperwork as far as procedures concerned?
The way I understood it is it goes, after we send them the letter, and I get done with it, it goes to Cindy. And then it goes in front of you guys, the board, on what action you guys want to take. So by the time we get to that, I think that's step 4, 3 or 4, and, you know, after that, we're already a month into it, because I usually give them, I think the first couple we give them 30 days, which is plenty. So you're 30 days into it, and then by the time we have another meeting, it could be 45 days, so, I guess my question is I would like to help the people that's coming in and complain about these, but I want to do it in the right direction that you guys want me to do.
What's the legal step?
The problem is, this is a county ordinance, it's not a zoning ordinance.
Right.
So we've been put in the middle of this for years. And we have joined in with the county on complaints, with regards to that. And we've taken some to court and got some satisfaction. The big problem always becomes, okay, so if the people who have made the nuisance, if they won't clean it up, then who's gonna clean it up, who's gonna foot the bill, how are you gonna get them to pay back the money? It's not an easy process, unfortunately. I mean, if they won't work with you and we end up having to take it to court, you're looking 6 months to a year. I mean, it's just the reality of it, unfortunately. But, I mean, the biggest thing is, okay, how much of our resources and time do we throw into it when it's something that the county has the ultimate responsibility?
So after the 30-day period, after we.
He sends a letter, okay, and then I'll take it and I will send them a letter on my letterhead indicating I'm legal counsel for them. Here's what the, claims are, or the complaints are, here's what the ordinance says, you have so many days to get this cleaned up, or we will initiate legal proceedings. Normally what I do after that is I send the first one not certified just because it's easier to get it to them. And then if you still don't get any, then I'll do something certified. And then after that, I have to go to the county commissioners and get approval to file, because they have to be on it too. Because it's a county ordinance, so it's the commissioners of the county, of Carroll County, state of Indiana, and the Carroll County Area Plan Commission jointly against whomever the landowner. That's the ultimate person responsible.
What happens in other communities with this handle?
A lot of communities have funds for that, and if they, if they can't get assistance from, especially if you've got homes that are, they're not occupied, those sometimes are the hardest ones, then a city or a county or whatever, they'll go in and they'll clean it up, and then they'll put a lien against the property that's on the right amount. But, I don't know if this county has a slush fund of monies that they can go out and clean up some of these properties. Start doing that, it'd be good for the community, but, it's not cheap. No, because it's not about zoning, it's about.
So that's, ultimately, that's a commissioner's decision then? Is that what
Pardon?
you're deciding?
It's ultimately gonna fall on the commissioners. I
Okay.
mean, we can help with it, but it's a county ordinance.
Okay.
So we can assist with it, but we can't totally enforce it. Could be.
Well, I think, Cindy, correct me if I'm wrong, the vast majority of what goes under the zoning ordinance is junkyards,
Yes.
And so if a property appears to be and operates as a junkyard, which means it has inoperable vehicles that are not licensed, they're exposed outside, then that technically meets the criteria of the junkyard. And if it's not grandfathered in prior to the zoning ordinance, then it becomes part of your purvey. But trash in the yard and stuff
Yeah.
is not yours. It's not yours to address. And
But they come to my office.
yes,
and-
now, to give you guys a little insight, I have property in West Lafayette. West Lafayette has code enforcement, and they have certain regulations that they have on the books. Specifically, I know one because of rental property I own. And things like the grass can't be any more than so many inches tall. You can't have indoor furniture on your porch, et cetera, like that. And they have people that drive around the vehicle, and they are essentially code enforcement officers, and they will write you a warning ticket. And if they come back in 3 days and it's not resolved, they will write you a citation. And typically, it's like $150 for the first day fine, and then it goes up after that. So consequently, they have a very good mechanism on the books to resolve these problems. It's very fast and very efficient. It's not cheap for the county to put that into effect. So, that's how West Lafayette handles it.
Most of your cities do something very similar. I don't know of any counties per se that necessarily have major enforcement mechanisms like that.
But there is a mechanism. If it's trash, debris, health and safety, I believe that falls to the health department.
But they don't have money to go out into the city to.
Well, but we pay them to do that. So, that, when it becomes a health and safety issue, that's totally different than my neighbor doesn't wanna look at my trash can.
Yeah, if there's rodents, animals, stuff like that, that's directly related to the health department.
That is, and there is a health officer for that. So you're
that
kind of
would-
stepping into an area where you're trying to overstep the health department, via area plan.
No, I'm
And
not
it
trying to
really-
overstep anybody, I'm having
But when
people
you're talking
come into
about
my
debris.
office that is complaining, so
Right,
I'm not
so
just
it
gonna
really
ignore
needs to
them, I'm
go to
not
the health
overstepping anybody.
department. But it really, a debris needs to go to the health department if it's a health and safety.
Correct, and I advise them to go to the health.
Yeah.
So I'm not overstepping it, and
Right,
a lot of them come up and don't really even wanna come up, but they do.
yeah.
So that,
You're dealing with cars and things. like
But there
that.
is a
So
There are
channel
a lot
for
of
it.
properties out there that have lots of cars on and stuff, and those.
Yeah,
actually
cars
would-
are area plan like Everett said.
Those would fall into categorizing as a junkyard,
right.
yeah.
But if it's 30 diapers and that's a whole different
Correct.
department.
Not much we can do.
That's what it sounds like, I mean, it's a commissioner, so.
There's-
That sounds like you just gotta keep doing do what you can to help them.
Which is basically handling the things that you can send a letter on, and for the others, recommend that they go to the health department or
Well,
whatever.
and
that's what
I
they do.
tell them all that they need to stop downstairs, but so another option is they can come to the commissioner meetings and get on the agenda. I've told them, you have to make sure you go in and get on the agenda, you can't just go in and speak, so. We've told several people that, and they don't show up, so that's where then they come back and say, oh, why is nothing being done? Well, at the last meeting, I didn't see any of it, so. Okay, then we'll proceed with that and send them to just kind of keep it how we are, because that's where I sent them downstairs, and we'll advise them that they need to come to commission. So.
Cameron, your report?
So I didn't type anything up this month because I know last month it kind of, basically, did everybody get the report I sent you on inspections and yeah, so real briefly, we had 34, this is for the month of October, we had 34 zoning verifications, 18 floodplain verifications. New addresses were 2, compliance certificates issued were 14, site visits 28, CAFO, CFO pre-app permits 0, variance exception request 1, reset, rezone request 1, temporary permits issued 0, complaints, violations 12, and that kind of goes what I just spoke about. That's the biggest thing I get on a weekly basis is people just go walk-ins, and a lot of them don't want to go to the auditor's office because they don't want their name out there. They don't want. I don't want to be in the paper. I don't want they want retaliation, I guess is the phrase. So kind of leaves me. What am I doing with it? So I try to help them the best I can,
But they don't fill out a written report, is what you're saying. They don't want to do
What's that?
that. They don't want to fill out a written report.
they have the option and they don't. They said, no, I just want to bring it to their attention, which, so I always advise them they can go to the proper meetings and proper people, but a lot of them are timid of it for the fact of retaliation. So, I do go out and do a site visit though. I feel that's the least I can do. But we had a good month, October.
What was the 14 again?
Compliance certificates issued. You should have got email with all this.
What was the 12 near the bottom, after rezoning originally?
Complaint violations.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, that got a good month. If I have any questions. Checking right along. Still learning curve every day. Donnie's been a huge help. I bug him at least 30 times a day, if not more, so trying to cut that down as much as possible, but I'm not sure of it, I'm going ahead, so. Gloria's been a great help, we're tackling it, we got pretty busy. October, I think everybody's trying to jam everything they could before winter hit, so we had days where we had people lined up out in the hallway, so, that's good. Here we are.
Just
backing them up, supporting these. I've sent out a couple letters. We're trying to track down a property owner, which is a company out of New York. So we'll see if we can get anything out of that. It's in a bad area of town. We got lots of properties out there that, you know, most of the owners except for this one, we're trying to track this one down. So see if we get any luck out of it.
Okay, board comments, Dale?
I think Cameron's doing a good job. He asked a lot of questions, and I haven't seen anything that I would complain about, not that I'm anybody, but I really do think you're doing a good job. So I hope you stick with it and keep going. Thank you for putting up with me. This is likely my last meeting, so I appreciate it. I've learned a lot, and not an area of expertise that I would have ever, you know, wanted to be in, but it's been interesting. So I have learned a lot, and I thank everybody for their patience.
Comments, anyone?
Put you on the spotlight. That's-
Yeah, I'm
Turns
definitely
up on
still
me. I was
learning.
expecting that big long speech.
I am brand new.
You remembered your last name this week.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's improvement from last week.
Certainly concur with Dale's comments about how you are doing and picking up the position and so forth. You're doing a great job. Any public comments?
I'd just like to comment that, you know, I see Steve, and you have your book here with your zoning ordinances in there. You really can only enforce the rules as they are written, not what you think they ought to be, not what you hope they should be, but what's actually down here on paper, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of times on the BZA, we're opening the book and taking a look at it to see what the book actually says, and sometimes it doesn't say what we wanna hear, but, you know, we have to enforce it according to the rules, so, you know, I think all of you would be advised to bring your book to the meeting so that you can read the ordinance and stay informed on it. The other thing too is that we're finding there's many different versions of the ordinance that have been disseminated according to the different members of the boards and stuff. So what's the actual correct one? We don't know. You know, so and one of it is concerning confined animal feeding out
I
there.
believe we do.
So,
That's it, I'll try.
but, you know, good ordinances, very good ordinances and rules are extremely difficult. You know, they're very hard to do them and not screw up and make something wrong in them that tends to be misinterpreted down the road. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Cindy, since you brought that up, so what did we determine about the confined animal feeding? Which one was correct? And the change in the verbiage?
Cameron, you typed that.
I've never had any, wrong verbiage, so I'm not sure where it started from, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where it originated. The ordinance I have is the, most recent, it's the same that you guys all have. I'm not sure where the.
Yeah, can't be the same as Mary Ann and I have, because we have different wording.
Did you bring your book in?
I got mine with me.
Okay, but I don't know.
We had both looked at it last meeting, and hers reads totally different than what mine does.
That's okay, so that's BZA, so we'll
Yep.
address that with BZA.
Yep.